Apple is gearing up for some significant changes at this year's Worldwide Developers Conference, WWDC, in June. One of the biggest updates could be the rebranding of its operating systems. But before you worry about your next iPhone being called something like the iPhone 26 instead of the iPhone 17, don't worry, that's not happening. According to well-known Apple insider Mark Gurman, the iPhone 17 will keep its name. While Apple might be changing how it names its software, the iPhone naming tradition is likely to stay the same, for now. So, what's actually changing? Apple is planning to rename its operating systems, like iOS, iPadOS, macOS, and visionOS, to match the year in which they're released. That means instead of getting iOS 18 this year, we could be getting something like iOS 25, aligning with the calendar year. This move is similar to what car companies do with their yearly models. For example, a car released in 2025 might be called the 2025 model, and Apple wants to follow that same logic for its software. Why is Apple doing this? Gurman believes the main reason is flexibility. By tying the software names to years, Apple gives itself more room to make small updates throughout the year without creating confusion. It also helps with marketing. A product that sounds current or futuristic may feel more appealing to customers. iOS 25 just sounds newer than iOS 18, even if the changes aren't huge. But that doesn't mean Apple is ready to do the same with its hardware, especially not the iPhone. Samsung already tried something similar. Remember when Samsung jumped from the Galaxy S10 straight to the Galaxy S20 back in 2020? That was clearly a move to line up the phone's name with the year. While it worked for Samsung, Apple isn't going down that road just yet. According to Gurman, iPhone users are much more familiar and more attached to Apple's traditional naming system. Suddenly calling the next iPhone the iPhone 26 would feel like a big jump and might actually confuse or even annoy customers. Another reason is that if the iPhone starts using year-based names, older models might seem outdated even faster. Think about it. If you're still using an iPhone 22 in 2026, it might sound really old, even if it works perfectly fine. This kind of change could hurt Apple in the long run, especially when it comes to resale value and how people feel about keeping their devices longer. That being said, Apple has skipped numbers before. For example, the company went straight from iPhone 8 to iPhone X, skipping iPhone 9 entirely. But that was a special case to mark the 10th anniversary of the iPhone, and it was more about celebrating a milestone than changing how Apple names its devices permanently. Now let's talk about the iPhone 17 itself. Even though the name is staying the same, the iPhone 17 is expected to bring some real changes. Rumors suggest that all models, except maybe the base version, will come with 12 GB of RAM as standard. That's a significant upgrade from previous iPhones and could mean much better performance, especially for multitasking and advanced features. Design-wise, we're also expecting changes. Leaked 3D models hint that Apple might introduce a new look for the iPhone 17 lineup, possibly taking inspiration from the sleek design of the Vision Pro headset. Speaking of Vision Pro, Apple is also working on redesigning all of its operating systems to give users a more unified experience across devices. This means iPhones, iPads, Macs, and even the Apple Vision Pro might start to look and feel more connected, creating a stronger ecosystem overall. Gurman points out that this rebranding is more than just a fresh coat of paint. It's also a strategic move. By drawing attention to the redesigned software, Apple can steer the conversation away from areas where it's currently falling behind, especially in AI. Right now, both Samsung and Google are way ahead in offering advanced AI features in their smartphones. Apple hasn't caught up yet, and they know it. So, while Apple might not have the most powerful AI features to show off at WWDC 2025, it can still impress audiences by presenting its software as fresh, modern, and future-ready. In summary, Apple's WWDC this year will focus on big changes, just not the kind you might expect. The operating systems will get new names tied to the calendar year, the iPhone 17 will stick to its usual naming format, and the company hopes to wow users with more consistent and connected software experience.